podcast where two bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with a K, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
How the devil are you, Mr. Ben Errington?
I'm good, man. How the devil are you?
I'm good.
Oh, had a little think. So
yeah,
we won the quiz last week.
I feel like I was doing really well until the last question again.
Yeah, I feel like I started off quite badly again. I feel like that's kind of my thing. I need to start off quite badly. I think it's speed round. I kind of panic a little bit. My brain goes all over the place. When I'm given a couple of seconds,
yeah,
and there's no timer, I feel a lot more relaxed.
I spend my brain energy points early on. Like those speed rounds, I get hyper focused, but then I'm just tired afterwards.
Well, considering we had to essentially work as a team, that means we're the perfect team if you're good at those. And
yeah, tag team. I start
tag team, mate.
Tag you
bloody
in.
yin and yang, mate.
Have we got any horror news?
Yeah, we've got some horror news. I was thinking, are we fit on the ground for horror news? But then I remembered a couple of big stories. So the first one is that Universal are bringing the Wolfman back to life with Ryan Gosling attached to the star. What I like about this is that on every news story I've seen, the picture of Ryan Gosling is a screenshot from The Nice Guys, and I can only imagine what a crossover between The Nice Guys and the Wolfman.
That'd be great.
Like I feel like I want to see it. So yeah, obviously we got 2010's The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro in the role. Did you see that?
I want to say yeah, but I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure I saw it, but I don't remember anything about it. So it looks as though the Dark Universe stuff is completely gone, which I think we knew anyway, and then they're just doing new spins on it. So whether it'll be a modern spin on it, like Ryan Gosling in 2020 turning into a Wolfman, could be interesting.
I want to see, now you said it, I want to see Shane Black do a paranormal investigator type show with The Nice Guys.
Oh, wow.
Sort of people.
Yeah.
Seeking out
be cool.
Monsters and shit.
Like a X-Files Monster of the Week, but with
Nice Guys.
with the Nice Guys, Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. I feel like I would watch Ryan Gosling in anything, so no matter which.
It's fantastic. I wonder if he'll be playing the piano in it, like in La La Land.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe if you're transformed while playing the piano.
Yeah, that bluesy jazz Wolfman. I'd go for that.
Yeah.
Howlin'. What's his name? Howling James Wolf. No. There's a blues man called Howlin' something. Howlin'.
I'm sure
Jones.
there is.
Howlin' Thomas. I don't know. Anyway,
so apparently Corey Finley is being attached as has been linked to be directing it. He directed something called Bad Education. I've not seen that.
Okay.
It was like a. And apparently the film is based on a pitch from Gosling himself, who at one point was going to direct, but maybe they've gone. Come on.
He did Lost River, right?
Yes.
Which I've not seen.
Yeah, I've seen that, and it's pretty out there, pretty nuts, quite Lynchian. I remember.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, got something else for you.
Go
on. So someone called Elizabeth Clavitter has been set as a showrunner for a Silence of the Lambs sequel series called Clarice. I don't know if you know anything about this. This is actually the first I've heard about it.
What? A Silence of the Lambs sequel series? Wait.
Called Clarice. Yeah.
Was Clarice one of the... Oh, no. I'm going to mix it with Silent Hills there. Yeah. Silence of the Lambs, you said.
Oh, yeah, the Lambs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'd rather see more Hannibal, I think, than Silence of the Lambs TV show.
So apparently, Clarice is set in 1993, a year after the events of Silence of the Lambs. The series is a deep dive into the untold personal story of Clarice Starling. When was Hannibal, the movie, set? When was that? Like
Silence of the Lambs. Oh.
Well, no, Hannibal, when what's her name? Julianne Moore played Clarice.
Oh, I don't know.
And didn't even attempt to do the Southern accent, or I think she might have done at the start, and then she gave up halfway through. So I'm assuming that was set in 2001, which I think when it was released. So obviously we've got a few years of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not in the loop with Silence of the Lambs at all. I've not seen it for ages. Okay. I need to watch the Manhunt one as well. You know, Michael
Yeah,
Mann one.
that's good. Michael Manhunter.
Yeah.
I kind of watch Silence of the Lambs every couple of years. I think that's one. The other ones, Red Dragon, Hannibal, and obviously Manhunter. Not so much. There was a Hannibal Rising film as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I think so.
He's always rising. He's rising. Yeah, there's that. Okay, last piece of news as well. Blumhouse and Lee Whannell, not Whannell, who'd say that, are adapting Upgrade into a sequel television series.
What's this about sequel television series? I don't know if it needs it.
No.
I mean, it's a cool world. It's a cool little cyberpunk sort of world. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends. That could be. I mean, it could be cool. I'd definitely watch it. Wonder if it's going to star Logan Marshall Green again. Possibly, maybe. Who knows? I mean, there isn't much other information other than they're adapting it. So
he would be the big gang boss, cyberpunk gang boss now, but he would be like the robot instead of. He'd be like the AI, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, there we go. So that's it.
Cool.
News. Have you got any news, or is that it?
That's it. Have you? What are you drinking? Mocha.
Just a cup of tea, mate. Just a cup of tea. Have a look at that. Mocha. Just a cup of English tea.
Buffalo, is it? It looks nice. It looks like you got me wanting. What's that one? It's like helps you sleep. Ovaltine. Ovaltine.
Ovaltine. Classic. I think that's it.
Horlicks is what I was thinking of.
Sleep, mate.
Yeah, that's nice.
Horlicks. What's the difference between Horlicks and Ovaltine? Answers on a postcard. I don't know.
Have you seen anything this past week at all?
So I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was nice. I also
that must be it, right?
Can't
have seen anything else. That must have taken up your week.
Yeah. So it was the extended editions. Obviously, I've got a lot of time to kill, Luke. I'm not working, so I've just had to. What can I do? I watch a 4-hour-long movie trilogy, and by 4 hours I mean 4 hours each. So yeah, there was like a Zoom call with Josh Gad where all like the Lord of the Rings cast sort of got back together and had a little chat. Read some lines out, reenacted some scenes, had some little anecdotes. It was a lot of fun, and I knew it was coming up, so I thought I'll watch the trilogy before that goes live and enjoy that as well. Just that little extra bit more. Yeah, for me, it's like the perfect high fantasy world, and I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah.
And revisit them after so long, it's mad, because it's probably been a number of years since I've seen them. It's mad to think like how much of it I just remember like word for word, and
how much better it is to The Hobbit. Like, it's so much better than the Hobbit trilogy.
Well, I've only seen the Hobbit trilogy like once in the cinema, so I've decided I want to watch that again just to remember. But yeah, as far as I remember, it's nothing comparison. But Jesus Christ, this is just sheer perfection. Just a soundtrack, like the Howard Shore score.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable, and everyone involved is awesome. So yeah,
it's cool. It's weird to think that we're part of the generation. I think we were quite young, probably like 12 or something when the first one came out. My dad was saying like he's been waiting for a film adaptation since he was a kid.
Well, it's the impossible adaptation made possible. It's almost become like the definitive edition of these stories now. A lot of people who love the books will probably disagree with that, but for me, it's so much more accessible. The books, which I kind of always did struggle with a lot. Maybe just because I'm an idiot, but
there's so many memes. So many memes have come from.
Oh man,
Lord of the Rings.
This week I have subscribed to at least 4 Lord of the Rings meme groups on Facebook, just because I've just been enjoying them so much, and it's been great. It's been a great sort of blast from the past, just going back and revisiting these films.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And apart from that, just this week's film. Oh, actually, there's one more thing, but I'll let you talk about what you've been watching first.
Well, so I haven't seen a load. I still since Stuart Gordon passed, I was really kind of hankering to watch a bit more Stuart Gordon stuff. And I was watching something I have not seen before. So I watched Castle Freak. Have you seen that one?
No, I've not seen that.
So it's Jeff Combs and what's the name? Barbara. Uh, you know, the one who's in all the Stick One
Barbara
films.
Crampton.
That's the one. Yeah. They inherit a European castle in Italy somewhere, and then they move in, and then they find that there's like a freak living in the castle who's like he's like living in the walls and stuff. And he's like
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a picture now. He looks pretty damn freaky.
he's really horny. Is it's like because he's been tied up for ages, so
Yeah.
he's like I don't know how he's so strong and he's because he's like a he's just been his whole thing has just been starved and beaten up. He's not like a demon or anything.
He was smashing the weights the whole time he's been there.
Yeah, pumping up those guns.
Pumping up those guns.
It's pretty good. It's not my favourite Stu Gordon film. Nowhere near as sort of camp and fun, but it's well worth a watch. It's got that the full moon films always seem to have a similar sort of soundtrack. It's difficult to explain, but you'll know what I mean if you watch it. It dates it to around early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s a lot. But what else? I watched Q, the Winged Serpent.
Oh yeah! Oh wow! I've not seen that for. I don't think I've seen that for well over 10 years.
It's decent. It's all right. It's pretty fun. It's about what is like ritualistic killings going on in Brooklyn. As like they're trying to raise an Aztec god who is what's his name, Quetzalcoatl or something like that, and he's this giant winged beast who is in the Chrysler Building, and he's going around sort of ropey looking animation.
Is it like stop motion animation a bit?
Yeah, but part of the filming they so normally for those kind of things you speak to the effects guys and you say, right, this is how we're going to shoot it, and they'll say, no, move this there so we can do this there. It's like a collaborative effort. And this Larry Cohen had shot it all and then said, put the I've already done it, so you're just going to have to slot it in. And I think you can kind of tell. But
isn't the serpent like a bit gummy, if I remember? Got no teeth.
He's got a beak.
He's just beaky, isn't he? Yeah.
It's beak and a tongue. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. There's Michael Moriarty. He's in a lot of Larry Cohen films. He makes it. He's so fun. He's a sort of jazz, blues playing, a bit like Ryan Gosling. Blues jazz playing. Small time crook who finds the Q and he like lures some gangsters into it and he's like shouting, "Eat him!"
I remember it being absolutely nuts. I remember it
is
being
pretty nuts,
properly nuts.
At the same time as this, there's like a cop procedural sort of thing going on, and with all the killing, that ritualistic human sacrifice killings where they're taking people's hearts out.
David Carradine as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good. It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun.
I would definitely like to watch that again, just to remember.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing I saw is Sinister for the first time. I've never seen that
for the first time. Okay.
For the first time, yeah. I don't know why. I think from everything I saw, I heard a lot of good things about it, but from everything I saw of it, it just looked like another one of those generic modern horrors.
I mean, it is to some extent, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much what I'm gonna say. Is that it is pretty generic. It's got quite a thin plot that it didn't seem to really go anywhere. It's kind of just a series of linked like vignettes of,
it's also got Mick from Slipknot in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing. It's like a cross between Mick. It's a cross between Mick and Jim Root from Slipknot.
Yeah.
It's a bit predictable. I mean, I kind of like some bits about it. Like the soundtrack's a bit
Soundtrack's great, I think, especially in the found footage snuff film bits. It's so eerie.
Yeah, and like the end credits as well. It's quite 9 Inch Nails. I find the soundtrack. You know, like a lot of the industrial sort of percussion-y stuff that they kind of do, like instrumental stuff between. Well, probably Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It sounds a bit like that as well. I don't actually know who did the soundtrack. But that was
Yeah,
a
you used
highlight
to
for
listen
me.
to it a lot. Yeah, but I mean, like the lawnmower bit, and a couple of other stuff bits. Like, there's just
Yep,
some genuinely
that's
good,
effective.
genuinely scary bits in it. But I hate
Yeah,
the end. Like, it's got one of those ending shots, like an Ugga Bugga shot at the end.
yeah, yeah. Bit of bugger. I thought Ethan Hawke had a lovely cardigan on.
Yeah, it was
For
nice. Yeah.
and he also had some nice glasses on a string, which I think always lovely. I
You should
wonder
get
how
some
many.
string for your headphones. They look like you could you could sort of take them off and they'd hang around your neck. You could add a
Sounds
sort of
great.
scholarly look to your.
I don't need that, mate. I don't need to up the scholarly look. I'm already
It
maxed
needs to
out.
down it, if anything.
Yep.
Down it. That scholarly look.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much all I've watched. I suppose obviously the Lord of the Rings stuff took up a lot of time, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. There and
Mm.
back again. So, and then it was just Triangle.
Yeah, Triangle, which
Have you ever seen
I
this film
have.
before? Yeah.
Yep, I've seen this before. I remember renting this on like Love Film when they used to send the DVD out. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. I don't
Good
think I ever used
times.
it, but
Ah, I used to love it because you could like keep it for as long as you want, pretty much. You keep the film, and you should be able to rent games as well. Keep them for as long as you want. Play the system. Yeah, so I saw that. So yeah, probably just a little bit after release, I guess. Probably was the last time I saw that.
yeah.
But did you say you've seen it before?
Yeah, yeah. Not that long ago, I don't think. Last year or maybe something like that.
Last week.
Last week. I that Christopher Smith guy. I remember. I really like some of. I remember really liking Black Death. I feel like it had a really good, like,
Yeah.
horrible sort of tone to it. What was
Hmm.
the Creep one? I like most of it. I love the London Underground with its like little caverns and there's like the homeless people who live in the walls of the London Underground. It's like a really nice, really cool little idea.
Yeah.
Um, not too keen on the slashery elements of it, but it's a lot of fun. And what was the other one?
Severance.
Oh yeah,
The other
I
one.
went through a period of loving that growing up.
Hmm. Yeah, I've not seen that for years either. I don't think I've seen Creep before. I don't think I've seen Black Death. So yeah,
Yeah,
Severance. Is Danny Dyer in Severance? Have I imagined that?
yeah, yeah. It came around out. I want to say Shaun of Deadish sort of time, or on
Yeah,
that wave
yeah, definitely.
of sort of comedy horrors. So it's got a
It's like
vibe
a
of that.
team building thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got Andy Nyman in it,
Mm,
who's fantastic. Just about
mm,
anything he's in.
cool. Yeah, so this is okay. I'll read out a little bit about it. So, Triangle is a 2009 psychological horror film written and directed by Christopher Smith and starring Melissa George and Michael Dorman. Um, George portrays a single mother who goes on a boating trip with several friends. Um, when they're forced to abandon their ship, they board a derelict ocean liner where they become convinced that someone is stalking them. Yeah,
Okay, so who we got?
yeah,
Melissa George is Jess. Melissa George. She's from Home and Away, or one of those neighbours, or something like that. I think she's been in quite a few things now. I recognise her face. Michael Dorman
yeah.
as Greg. It's,
Michael Dorman as Greg. So Michael Dorman is the brother in The Invisible Man, the new Invisible Man film.
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pop that one as soon, and then I don't recognize. Oh yeah, Liam Hemsworth is in it as well. So Chris Hemsworth's brother. He's got like well, I guess it's quite a big part.
Yeah.
And I don't recognize many of the other people in it.
The only thing I'd say about this film is, I mean, it's better than this film, but it's very similar. I've seen Time Crimes.
Yeah, I do know. I know a lot about Time Crimes, but I don't know if I've actually seen it.
Well, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but
I know that there's like some obviously spoilers for Triangle and Time Crimes coming up, like time loopy stuff, right?
yeah. But even to the point where there's like they're being stalked by a person with a bag on
Yeah,
their head.
yeah. I might. Do you know what? I might have seen it. I always get confused with something else. There's another like sort of low budget time travel film, isn't there?
Primer.
Yeah,
Primer's
yeah.
great.
That's what
Yeah.
I always get confused with that. So I think I've seen Primer and not Time Crimes.
Okay. Yeah, Time Crimes
Maybe I
isn't
need
as
to.
serious as that. There's a Predestination. Have you seen that one?
Mm,
Mate, Ethan Hawke. That's a good one. Like, not many people have seen that one, I don't think, and it's pretty great. Um,
no, I've not seen that
I
one.
don't want to spoil that.
Only 2014. Interesting. No, not seen that. This is a weird one because it's like a British Australian production,
Set in America.
and it's set in America, but it's all shot in Queensland, Australia, right?
Yeah, and it does kind of look like Queensland, Australia. Someone in the
Why
Facebook
can't they
group
just?
pointed that out.
Yeah, why can't they just go? It's in Queensland, Australia. Why
Well,
does it need to be Florida?
here's why.
Oh,
Where's the Bermuda Triangle?
um,
Bermuda. Where's Bermuda? Is that in the Florida Keys? For the sake of this
maybe.
argument, I'm going to say it is. I think they named
Okay.
it that because they were like, it's the Bermuda Triangle. That's where they
Yeah,
go.
but they never mention the Bermuda
Triangle.
Triangle in any way, did they? So okay, yeah, that you're correct. You're correct, Lou. Go on, enjoy that. So yeah, Florida. It's like off the coast of Florida, and then Bermuda and Puerto Rico, and it's
Puerto
like the
Rico.
triangle
I mean, they
between
could
all of
have
those.
got away. I mean, the only thing it's called Triangle is the boat. They could have got away with it, unless they're trying to tap into that Bermuda Triangle market. That's some hot.
Yeah,
That's a hot dollar. That is.
People are loving that.
Yeah.
What's this film set? Queensland, Australia. Not
Oh.
interested.
Oh
Bermuda
yeah.
Triangle. Get me a ticket.
Yeah. People love the Bermuda Triangle for some reason. Um, yeah. So, but it looks like very Australian, and then I think you've got all the Australian actors in there as well. So it's a bit like we know
Yeah,
we know
we know.
who you're trying to fool. So okay, so this is a timey-wimey story. We've got it doesn't. So the first time I watched it, I was like, "This is pretty tight. It all kind of works." This time I watched it, I was like, "No, that doesn't quite work." I picked up a couple of bits that kind of
Yeah,
unspooled the entire thing, and I was like, "Well, if that's the case, this whole thing doesn't work." I'll tell you about it
yeah.
when we get to them.
Okay.
But so it starts with Melissa George, Jess is her name. She's got an autistic son called Tommy who's got a bowl haircut.
Yeah, it's a
So
pretty solid bowl haircut. To be fair,
solid
yeah.
bowl. He looks like Nick Carter before
Yep.
before he got big and famous.
Before he grew up, yeah.
Or Aaron Carter, I don't know. So
One of them.
Jess, it's a bit weird because it starts off a little bit jumbled. So she has this kid, and she's telling this kid everything's going to be okay, and he's crying, and then it cuts to her arriving at the harbour, where all the gang's getting ready to go for a little boat trip, a sailing trip.
Yeah. And she like here's the doorbell ring, right?
Oh yeah, but there's no one there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's no one there, and she sort of shouts over to her neighbor and says like, "Hey, did you see anyone at the door?" But this is a bit obviously what's portrayed here is that she's obviously a bit frustrated, but essentially she seems to be shown as a good mum,
Yeah,
someone who's obviously a single parent, and she's got an autistic son, so the struggles of that, the frustrations of that in a few short scenes. Yeah, so it's good when we revisit this later, but for now, yeah, that's what we'll say. And then we're kind of introduced to everyone pretty quickly as they're getting on a boat in the harbor in Florida.
yeah, in Florida.
Definitely in Florida.
They start to sail out, and we get some impressions that Jess was being a bit not forthcoming of where her child is because she said she dropped him off at school, but it's a Saturday, so people are a bit worried about that. She's acting a bit strange. She sleeps. She doesn't remember stuff
She
properly.
looks a bit shell shocked,
Yeah,
doesn't she? She's a bit like, oh God, Jesus Christ! Like she's woken up and but she's not quite awake yet. She hasn't had her coffee. She's just
yeah,
wandering around aimlessly. People are trying to talk to her. She's just like, oh what? Yeah. So
yeah.
there's a guy named Greg who's got a boat, and his friends Sally and Downey who are like married. They bring along a young lady for him to potentially get it on with. Her name's Heather, and there's a weird sort of subplot that Greg's got like this guy named Victor, who's played by Liam Hemsworth, who's like a runaway teen living with him.
Oh yeah.
They kind of
There's a
go,
weird
"What have you got an 18-year-old boy living with you?" And I'm like, first of all, Liam Hemsworth's not 18; he's about 35. Second of all, yeah, what have you got an 18-year-old boy living with you for, Greg? Bit weird.
Greg. Yeah, just Greg. What can you expect? So as they're out, we get the impression that Greg likes Jess quite a bit. But she doesn't seem like she's. Later on, we'll find out that she's been through a lot, but she doesn't seem like she. I think maybe she's forgetting stuff by this point, or she's completely forgotten.
Talking about cardigans again, Jess has got a lovely cardigan on, and it looks like quite a chunky knit. And all I can think is they're out on the boat in Florida.
That's a chunky knit, mate.
That's a chunky knit. That's good. You're going to be sweating. Armpits going to be drenched.
Yeah. So whilst they're out sailing, Greg knows exactly what he's doing, especially Liam Hemsworth. He's running around the boat, spinning stuff around. I mean, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe he's just so pretended.
Get that sail up. See us up. Look at that. Oh, I didn't think that would work, but
he's just winding stuff, cranking, tying the shoelaces and knots.
Climbing. He's a good skipper. Can we call him a skipper, or is that the?
I think Greg's a skipper.
The boat. Yeah, that's right. He's the boy, the second in command boy.
I think a boy.
I don't know what's.
They're just what float in the water, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Got that mixed up again, haven't I? Bloody hell.
So at some point there's a big storm, and it comes out of nowhere. It's like a demonic-looking storm, CGI, very CGI storm.
There's some dodgy CGI in this. Like there's some bits later on with. Well, I mean, we'll come to that, but there's some bits where it just looks like things have been plonked on, to the screen. Oh yeah, that looks real. Yeah, why not?
Why not? So the storm comes and it completely wipes them out. Like it explodes the boat with, implodes it with water, flips it over. One of them, the girl,
just before. Greg tries to radio the Coast Guard, doesn't he? And we get he picks up like a distress signal where like some woman is saying, "Oh my God, please help! She's killing everybody!" And Greg's like, "Just get a Coast Guard on the line, please. We need your help. Shut up."
Yeah. The boat flips up. What's her name? Heather, is it? She's gone.
Yep.
No idea where she's gone.
She gets like sucked out the window, doesn't she?
Yeah, who knows? She could have made it back. She's all right. She could have landed on a banana boat somehow. Who knows?
Yep.
And,
who knows?
Then, so they're on top of the boat. It's capsized. It's like the storm's gone. It passed through in a matter of moments.
I'd be annoyed, wouldn't you, if I was the owner of that boat? Like, how much did that boat cost? And you'd just be like, that storm has literally turned up for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, ruined my boat, and fucked off.
And he's like, the fin, whatever you call that, underneath the boat, stick it up now. And it's like, oh, that's why it's called Triangle. His boat.
Yeah, exactly. This is a bit where we see a lot of shots of them on the upturned boat, and they look very painted on.
Yeah,
plonked on.
I mean, I don't think it's a huge budget film, is it? It looks.
No, I think it's quite a small budget. Well, actually, here we go. 12 million the budget was.
So not
the box office.
1.3 to
1.6 million.
Oh, I hope it made that back over time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Black Death did that much box office either. So Christopher Priest, maybe that's what you mean a rom-com after these. I don't know what it's called. Like one of those Christmas rom-com, Save Santa or Get Santa or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or just
it looks like
money up.
One of those, the movies at Christmas, they're red and green and white. One of those.
Oh,
ones.
yeah. I think I've seen a letterbox list which has got like every red and green and white Christmas poster ever made, and there's hundreds.
He's
he had to
in
do
there
that
somewhere.
to make ends meet.
Probably,
He's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's going to be about a husband whose wife has died, and he has forgotten the meaning of Christmas, but then he meets some woman and her kids, and his kids help them get together, and the spirit of Christmas is found.
Yeah.
That's it, mate. We should make one. Let's make one.
uh, what's I don't know where we're at. So okay, so the big boat comes. They're like lost, and they're sort of waiting, and they're getting very hot, especially in that tight knit. Although maybe she's taking it off now. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's like the big boat is a big stonking cruise ship, isn't it?
Yeah, so like a big old stonking cruise ship just comes gallivanting past, and everybody's like calling it, saying, "Hey, come on, stop!" I don't really know what happens. Does it stop, or does it moving so slowly that they manage?
I think
to
it's moving so slow. Yeah,
yeah.
Just hop onto it.
And they just get onto it, and it looks a bit like it looks deserted. What appears deserted, but it's like rusted. It's a bit like in a state of. It's a classic ghost ship. It looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, Kat walked in and she's been watching it. She said, "Are you watching Ghost Ship?" The film with Carl Urban in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's Ghost Ship. Got Treat Williams in it. You know, from Deep Rising. Am I just conflating the sea horror movies? But who's the in Ghost Ship? Who's the sort of the captain? Maybe I am just thinking like completely.
Oh my God. I don't remember anything about Ghost Ship. It's apart from like everyone's heads getting cut off by like some wire.
That bit's good. That bit's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, Gabriel Byrne is in it.
That's who I'm thinking of, I think.
Yeah. And a young Emily Browning is like the creepy kid. You know, Emily Browning from Sucker Punch. Yeah.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
From Lemony Snicket's.
Do you know, it's been a while since we've done like a terrible film.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it is. We did Spookies recently. But it's been a while since we've done a terrible film from the early noughties.
You want to do Ghost Ship? Is that what you're saying?
That could be one for the future. We'll add it to the list, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember a scene where Carl Urban's eating some beans and then it turned out to be worms. Or something like that. It's classic.
Just bloody look. Just look before you eat, Carl. You're just shoving it in his gob. I think you're eating worms there, mate.
Just Judge Dreadhelmer, so you couldn't see. What?
I forget all the time that Carl Urban is in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he plays
He plays like Rohan man.
Rohan man, yeah. That's his name.
And he's got quite a significant part, but it's weird that I kind of forget.
He's in tons of stuff.
Sorry, Carl.
Let's get his filmography up because he's in a lot, I'm sure. And then I don't know when his turning point was. I think it maybe was around Dread, where people were like, oh, because he's in Dune.
People started taking him seriously.
Oh, maybe Star Trek because he played that character in Star Trek, Scotty. He's in Xena, Warrior Princess.
Yeah, he's
Riddick.
in. He does some.
Oh yeah, he plays the big bad guy in Riddick. Or no, not the big bad guy, but the one that comes around to the good. A bit shorter.
Oh right, okay. So he's in the Chronicles of Riddick. He must be the main bad, and I think in Riddick he's like got a smaller part. He's in A Born Supremacy. Oh, he's in Pathfinder as well. That's a pretty cool little Viking movie, right?
He's done a lot, I think, is the point.
Yeah, that's the point you're making.
Yeah.
He's done plenty. And obviously The Boys, which hopefully the second series is coming out sometime soon, maybe.
Yeah. He hasn't done Triangle yet.
He's not in Triangle, but he is in Ghost Ship, which is a bit similar to this film, I guess, because it's got a ship. So they all get onto the ocean liner, which I think is called Aeolus.
Aeolus, yeah.
Aeolus, which apparently means quick, nimble in Greek mythology in some ways, maybe.
Yeah.
So they kind of like find a room full of like fresh food in a dining room. As they're walking around, Jess is like got major deja vu. She's like, I've definitely been here before. And of course everyone's like, what are you on about? We're in the weirdest possible situation. and you've been here before.
She finds the keys up in there, and then she's like, "These are my keys," and they're like,
Yeah.
"Nah." You just
Yeah, look at this. It's got a picture of my son on this. Wait, is that on her keys or something? Yeah, it's all a bit mad, but I think everyone's kind of just like she's
off her rocker. Yeah.
Well, I think they think she's experiencing shock or.
This film is one of those things where, as I'm watching it, I mean, this will come more apparent later on. I feel like someone should just say, "Just stop! Everybody, stop what you're doing. Let's talk about what's happening." Because there's no sense in eventually just killing each other.
There's a lot of like just wandering aimlessly into the next room, and then stuff happening, and then people just getting split up and running off, and
Yeah. It's because she starts to just say like, "Stay here. I'm going to go do something else," and I just think, tell them why. It might sound insane, but you like communication. Just communicate.
There's no communication in this film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of screaming and calling Jess a psychopath.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of accusations. You did this. You just said this. No, I didn't. It's like she doesn't seem to understand yet.
And then she goes, "Oh no, I did."
Oh God, yeah, I did. But yeah, I did. Yeah. So what else? Oh yeah, Jess like sees someone watching them, doesn't she? And Victor like chases after whoever they are.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where her and Greg end up in a room, and in blood on a mirror it says "Go to theater."
Yeah.
Which is like, if this was a game, that would be you'd go straight to the theater, mate. It'd pop up on your map to see exactly where it was, and you'd go there.
Yeah.
So as they kind of go to the theater, they go into the room where they go back into the dining room, and now the food is all like rotten.
Okay.
So which obviously may hint that some time has passed or something.
It's getting more convoluted by the second.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What's happening now?
And then there's just and I think she notices at one point that her watch is at the same time as what does the clock on the wall for some reason. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And then Victor enters at one point, Liam Hemsworth, and he's like covered in blood, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" But then he attacks Jess, tries to kill her. He's like trying to strangle her.
Yeah.
But she managed to fight him off by like fingering. He's got like a vagina in the back of his head.
Yeah.
And she sticks her fingers in that, and he goes, "Ah!" and passes out from, I'm assuming, pleasure, but I think it might be from pain.
Yeah. She like digs her fingers in his brain stem or something.
Yeah. So there's lots to take in. It's all happening pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, this movie definitely has like a pace to it. Like I don't think you ever really get time to get bored or anything. So then she goes to the theater. Greg's been shot. Is that lying on the floor?
Yeah.
Downey and Townie are on the floor.
Downey and Sally.
Yeah,
Sally.
So then they get shot by like an off-site shotgun.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they're like, "Oh my, Jess, Greg said that you shot him."
Yeah.
And they like attack her, and she's like, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." Yeah. And then we see like a baghead person wearing like a blue boiler suit, just up on a balcony, shooting. She's got like is it like a shotgun or a rifle?
It's a shotgun, I think, because she has to do a barrel. Plop them in.
Yeah. Plop them in.
Yeah. So then, I mean, they're running around. She gets attacked by the baghead person. There's like a moment where the baghead person's like, "Do I shoot this person or not?" But then she goes for it. At one point, she goes, "I don't know what to do," so she like lobs the gun at her, knocks her off.
Yeah. It's like she runs out of bullets at that point and just slings the gun.
Yeah.
At Jess. I mean, it was kind of obvious that this baghead person was a woman at this stage.
Yeah.
But that was pretty obvious. It seemed like maybe they were trying to show that it wasn't. It was just some
Yeah.
killer man.
Okay. So here's one point which I think kind of unspools the logic a bit. Jess picks up an axe that is like on the side. It's like a fire axe that's like on the wall. She takes it off. She also picks up this little wheel thing, faucet head, and she like rolls it down the thing to confuse
Oh yeah.
Jess. But the whole thing is this whole thing happens in a circle. The next Jess that comes along isn't going to have that axe on the wall and isn't going to have
Yeah.
the faucet thing to throw and distract this person. So I kind of it doesn't that unspool the entire thing, like, and then I kind of feel like, but there's only so many boiler suits, there's only so many shotgun bullets. Surely this is
Yeah.
all going to run out unless the
It's
ship's
almost like,
resetting in a way. I don't know.
I think the ship's resetting.
But
Yeah,
if that's the
because
case, it's not consistent then, because although it's a great visual, there's a reveal of all the dead Sallys.
yeah.
Wouldn't that reset?
Okay, I think it's resetting, but I think it's keeping. It's almost like duplicating things, like, because obviously we see sometimes when Jess loses her necklace, and it's kind of falls into a big pile of loads of necklaces. So obviously things are resetting to a degree,
Yeah.
but the things that sort of get left up, the things that move around the ship kind of stay. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I mean, I guess
If
it would kind of make sense if anything that was on the ship before they got on reset,
yeah.
but everything that they're
Okay,
wearing or
I
they
see what you
bring
mean.
onto the ship doesn't.
Yeah. So everything that kind of comes onto the ship on about their person, by the time the time loop resets, the ship kind of maintains everything that was there from the first time, including like dead bodies and stuff, right?
I imagine so. It must do because that
There are
would
definitely
make
some
sense.
inconsistencies because you think if there are so many bodies in one area, obviously with the Sally thing, why aren't there more bodies everywhere
Yeah.
from all the different ways that you know?
Well, so
Because
she cleans them up, doesn't she? She starts throwing them off the deck.
oh yeah, okay.
The Sally's just like, no one's found in that. There's a million
Mm,
bodies up there. I'm not doing that.
mm. Yeah,
the
yeah.
next, the
Jesus
next
Christ.
Jess
I
can
mean,
sort that out.
that's just our work, isn't it? Yeah. Just
Yeah.
leave it for the next Jess. Yeah, that's fair.
The future Jess. Yeah,
Yeah.
or past Jess. Yeah. So she pushes this bagger Jess off the side of the boat, and she's like, "There, kill them. It's the only way. Kill them is the only way to save them or reset the boat or
Kill them
something."
is the only way to get off the boat, essentially. Because I think already we assume Jess doesn't actually care about anybody on the boat. She only cares about getting back to her son.
Yeah.
Or she seems to say that, at least.
And at this point, I think is when she sees over the boat, she sees them from before just seeing the boat and shouting to it. And where she stood now, she saw
Yeah.
her earlier in the film.
Yeah.
So it starts to loop. A lot of the things that, a lot of the moments from when he first got into the boat, we realised when he heard someone or saw something, it was her. Just
Yeah.
the next like rung along. So Jess has started to realise it's in a loop. She finds the shotgun and the boiler suits and stuff, but I don't think she figures out it's her just yet, or that she's not
Yeah.
going to do it anyway. I think she tries to okay, so she sees Victor and she's trying to tell him about it, and he's like, "You're a nutcase." So
Yeah.
she like grabs him and shoves his head onto a spike.
His head goes so easily onto the spike. It's like his head is made of like blancmange or
Yeah.
something. It just really just goes, it just slips right on like that. Like if that was real, I'd be impaling my head on things all the time.
Yeah.
I would just be like,
Maybe he had that
ooh,
hole
fat.
already. He already had that hole.
Yeah. He already had the vagina on his head. Yeah, that's pretty nuts, isn't it? So yeah, she attempts to warn him. She pushes her onto that, and obviously then he's like, "Oh, what have you done? You're crazy." And does she just run off at this point?
Yeah, she's like, whoops. She runs off. She finds him again later. And she's like, I didn't mean to hurt you. Sorry. But then she runs off again. So
Yeah, yeah.
as she's sort of going through this cycle, she says she's trying to change it. She says if I can stop the cycle. So, for example, she takes a shotgun to the theater, but this time she shoots back at the version of her that shot Greg and Downey and Sally, and
Mm.
she like gets them right on the head. But I don't understand how that keeps everything consistent then, because she's never that version who gets shot in the head, is she?
No. So I'm assuming that's like an earlier version of her, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so she does find like this place where there's like loads and loads of boiler suits and loads of guns and loads of bags for her head. Look at the place.
Yeah,
So it's like the ship's just gone. Here you go, then get involved.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because obviously things start to link up because we see when she gets on the boat. Gets on the boat. She like drops her keys. So then obviously that links up. Oh yeah, another version of her dropped the keys. And there's a bit obviously where what happens with the locket? She's crawling through somewhere at one point, isn't
She
she? Or she's
finds
looking
finds
down.
a bunch of scrunched up bits of paper that say
Yeah,
"kill
which
them," showing her to get off the boat or something. And then when she writes it as
yeah,
well to test her handwriting, she realizes she's done it exactly the same as all the other notes. There's a cool little effect.
yeah,
And then she
yeah,
sees
that's cool.
a big pile of her lockets in this grate.
What
Um,
like cough sweets?
big pile of
That's
them.
my lockets. That
She goes
is
to slip
bloody
one into her
honey and
mouth.
lemon flavour.
She gets something to her mouth and she goes, oh, and it just slips out the tongue down into the hole.
Yeah. So there's a big old pile of her locket with like the little picture of her son.
Yeah.
Uh, so it seems like her goal is to like change the pattern. So by changing the pattern, she becomes the shooter to kill everybody. So
Well, yeah, so
herself,
I don't
Greg,
understand.
Downey, Sally.
At what point do you go, I've been on this ship 30 minutes twice. I'm going to
Yeah,
kill everyone.
it is pretty much like that. She's been on the ship 30 minutes twice, and then she works it out. But then I don't know. It's kind
Would
of
you
like
just start killing
suggesting.
people, though? I don't know. It feels like she gets pushed to that.
So obviously, it's suggesting that she's been there for 30 minutes twice, but because she sees all this stuff like the notes, the lockets, she realizes that actually it might feel like she's been there 30 minutes twice, but actually she's been there hundreds of times. She's been there in this loop all these times.
Yeah, but the loop's bigger than that, isn't it? So she gets off the
Mm.
boat and goes back onto it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, but the loop isn't that big when she's on the boat. The loop
Well,
is
that's
quite
what's
is
confusing
yeah.
because there must be I think there must be like a figure eight shape happening. So one time she goes on the boat, one version of events happens, and she does like a little
Mm.
loop and it comes off. And the other time she goes and she's the version who gets shot in the head, and she's this other
Yeah.
version of herself, and then gets off the
That
boat and
makes
gets back on
sense.
it.
That
I mean, it's
that I mean that makes sense. Unless like somehow this time loop, like you're at the epicenter of it, you're on the boat, and it kind of is this 30-minute loop. But as you get off the boat, it's a bit
it might have been
bigger. That probably doesn't make
it
sense,
might be
but
worth. So I mean, I understand like trying to make it like logically consistent and taught all the way through, which Time Crimes is, I think, from what I remember. But
yeah,
might have been worth just making it a bit weirder in this, and maybe going for more of a Groundhog Day. Like you have no idea how long she's been on there for. She keeps like circling through and trying things. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't. I wasn't there to.
yeah.
You know, say.
It's got a lot of interesting ideas, though. I think, and interesting
And
themes.
doing
And I
this
think,
kind of film must be really difficult to pull off. Surely.
oh yeah, because I bet you come away from it and you go, right, that's it, that's the final cut, and then you realize you've missed something. You're like, oh, fuck. Hopefully, Luke Condor won't realize.
I bet they know all of the sort of the logical flaws as well. They must know them all, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
it's not software. I can't do an update.
Yeah. So
Although
yeah,
that
there's
will
a bit.
happen. Eventually, fans will complain about stuff enough.
Oh yeah,
It's like the HBO
the
Max
Snyder Cut.
Justice League. We'll
Yeah,
do a patch update.
yeah.
Justice League 2.0.
That film was shit. Here's the update of that film. Oh shit as well. Devastated.
Maybe.
So yeah, there's a bit later where Jess chases Sally, and we see that it was Sally who sent the distress signal that was heard by Greg's boat. So obviously, like, their version of reality exists in the same version of reality as the storm, capsizing the boat and stuff. It exists at the same time in one version of reality.
What do you mean?
Well, like, because obviously Sally sends the distress signal and it's heard by Greg's boat, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So there is a version of events where they're alive at the same time as everybody on the boat as well.
Yeah, or the signal just doesn't get to Greg's boat until that point in time. It's difficult to say.
Yeah. So when Jess catches up to Sally as well, who has been stabbed at this point, there are like dozens and dozens of Sally corpses. Sally doesn't seem as freaked out as you would be if you stumble onto a deck and there's dozens of versions of you dead.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
She's a bit like, rather than what the actual fuck is going on.
She's like bleeding out at the same time, and she's like terrified of what's her face, and then she's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna make you better." And she's like, "Please don't hurt me."
Please don't hurt me. Too late. I've stabbed you.
Yeah.
Jess
is like slipping and accidentally stabbing her again. Whoops! I'm gonna look after you. Whoops! Stab. Kiss.
Got it. If the stab is as easy as
Play-Doh
man's head getting squished.
Yeah.
Then whoops! Oh no, Butterfingers. Damn it.
Yeah, he's like a cake pop.
Yeah.
Got a head like a cake pop. Have you ever had a cake pop? You ever made a cake pop?
Yeah. I've never made one, but I've had one.
It's quite nice, actually.
It's lovely, mate. It's delicious.
Okay, so the final cycle in this version of Jess goes Rambo and is like, I need to get off this boat. I've been here an hour. She's like a Karen. She's a Karen. She's got a complaint, and she's like, "I'm not taking this nonsense. Let me speak to your manager." With a shotgun, she just starts annihilating everyone.
Yeah, pretty good with that gun as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess the first point,
a lot of time to get good.
Yeah, the first person to kill is Greg, and she obviously doesn't want to do it, but then when he realizes it's her because of her big toenail, he's like, Jess.
Oh yeah.
You kind of see toenail anywhere.
Kind of sees that toenail, or he's like, I recognize that color anywhere of toenail.
Yeah, I recognize that ingrown toenail. You had an ingrown toenail.
I've nibbled on that before.
Yeah, and once she realized she's been outed, it's too late by that point. I mean, you can't go back on that. Just shoot him. You can't walk back on it. It's a prank, Greg.
It's a prank.
Cool. So she shoots him off the balcony. And she's like, "Your ticket is a standing ticket." Well, she should have said something like that.
Yeah, that would have been great. Just nice.
Get in the foyer, whatever it's called. Tickets, please. And then, like, you're going to miss the show. One of those things. And then she starts like cocking and shooting Downey and Sally.
Downey, Sally and Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking everybody up. But then obviously she has a fight with herself, essentially. She gets done over by herself, which is the same version of herself as she's already lived, I guess.
Oh yeah, so she pushes herself off the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when she wakes up, she's on the shore. You think, she escaped. Everything's all right after all. But then when she goes back home, she realizes it's the same morning as the morning she ended up on the boat. But when she returns, she looks into her house, and then we kind of see the the same version of events as that morning, but I guess we see different parts of it and a different side to it, where she's just a bit of a horrible, abusive,
Yeah,
horrible bitch.
she like the boy's
Slapping a
like,
kid.
yeah, she like slaps it because he drops some paint or something, and he only drops the paint because he sees her at the window looking in.
Yeah,
So it's her own fault, really.
it's her own fault. She ends up slapping him.
Yeah.
Devo.
So she buzzes the doorbell and then sneaks
Yep.
around. She annihilates herself. Like by this point, she's like
Oh, yeah.
practiced. She's practiced killing.
Yeah. And she's not got a inch of remorse. I guess she like sees herself doing that to him, and she's like, "Ah, what have I become?
Yeah,
What have
it
I become?"
felt a bit Rick and Morty. You know how they always go into the other parallel dimensions and then just kill the versions of those that are in that dimension, so they can sort of. Well, maybe
Okay.
maybe that's not quite right, but she has to kill this one because she's going to take its place.
Yeah.
But then the kid sees it, and that's why he was crying at the start of the film because
Yeah. And then she cuts his head with a bowl just to make the bowl cut, just to make the bowl cut look much better before they go out the house.
yeah. And I guess so it is quite neatly wrapped up. There's a bit where she's driving away. She's got the other dead version of her in the car, and then she gets out. Oh, she hits the bird, and as she gets out, she drops it onto the beach, and
Yeah.
there's like hundreds of these birds. So it must have happened again
Yeah.
and again
So
and again and
obviously
again. But
I think maybe the figure eight version of events is kind of
but
you may be onto something there.
if that's the case, they'd be like, we need to put some traffic lights up on this road. This same car has crashed on this road so many times. I don't know. I don't think it's quite as logical as I thought it
No,
might be.
it's not. I guess every time it happens, it's like brand new to everybody except Jess because she's the only person
Yeah,
trapped in the loop. Trapped
but
in the loop.
they're driving away, and then the son's crying about his bowl cut. He's like, "I wanted curtains," and she crashes the car.
Yeah.
And okay, so it does I do like the way it wraps up quite a bit actually, because her son dies in the crash, and the other version of her is there. And then a taxi driver's like, "Do you want a lift?" And then she says, "Take me to the harbour." That makes sense because she's like, she realizes that she can basically use it as a time machine to go back and try again.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
But
let
she
her son
never,
die.
but she never knows. So like, she wakes up all shell shocked, gets on the boat again. I keep calling it a bus. Keeps
Yeah.
get on the bus again. Boat. And she forgets. So it's like, yeah, she's essentially going back in time to try and save her son each time. That's her reason for this. But she's just going to get stuck forever because she ain't keeping it in her head. She needs to bloody remember. She needs to do a memento. She needs to write it on her body.
Yeah.
Have to do this, save the son, and then just stay home for the rest of the day. Don't go anywhere. Don't go and get on the bus. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. And that's kind of it. So that explains why she arrives shell-shocked before the boat trip at the start of the film.
And where her son was dead.
Yeah. And she...
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And there we go. The film starts again. We're forever trapped in a loop of triangle because then we could just watch the film again, right? And then we're essentially trapped in the same loop.
You just turn the loop off, the looping option off.
Just turn the loop off, go to bed, get on with your life.
I've got some trivia.
Okay.
Nice. Also, I really need a wee, but we'll be okay. I'll hold it in. I'm an adult. 22.
maybe that will make this trivia just a little bit more interesting and fun.
Okay. Trivia number 1. The Aeolus, the ship that Jess and the others jumped to, is named after the ancient mythological Greek ruler of the what?
Of the sea?
Of the winds.
Oh, yeah. Windy boy. It's not the sea, is it? Because that's bloody... What's his name?
Persephone.
Poseidon.
No, Poseidon, yeah. Number 2. Individuals trapped... Oh, yeah, okay. So we're doing the name game, but it's shape edition. So
nice.
Different shapes. I'm going to say the log line of the film, and you have to say the shape. Number one, individuals trapped in a thing and they cross industrialized thing-shaped rooms, some rigged with various traps designed to kill. So I had to take the shape out of the logline because it would have given it away. Individuals trapped in a thing and they cross industrialized thing-shaped rooms. And some of the
It's
thing-shaped rooms are rigged with various traps designed to kill.
it's Cube, right?
It is Cube. Well done.
Cube boy.
Number 3. 50 strangers facing execution have to pick one person among them to live. I don't know if you've seen this actually, but it's a shape, so you might get it the off chance. It's not that many shapes, isn't it? Rhombus, isosceles triangle.
I don't know if I have seen this.
That should be the sequel to this, isosceles.
Isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. Is it hexagon?
Circle. It's a film called Circle, and all these people are sort of in a big circle, and you have to choose someone's going to die. It's all right. It's all right. Okay.
That makes sense.
Number 4. A lonely janitor stumbles upon an amphibious creature that is held in captive research captive at a secret research facility. She develops a unique relationship with the creature.
I'm pretty sure it's the shape of water.
Yes.
Just literally put the word shape in there just to throw me off, mate.
Just to throw you off.
A pentagon of water.
The last one for you. If you take the answer to question 2 and times it by itself, you get...
Say again?
If you take the answer to question 2, the answer to the first name game question, and times it by itself, you get this film.
Something squared. What was the second answer? Was it circle? Circle squared.
Cube squared. Cube squared. Hypercube. Yeah, cube squared. Cube squared.
Hypercube. I like a good hypercube. Circle cube. Circle cubed. I've literally, my brain is checked out from about 10 minutes ago.
Well done, you got them all right.
Jesus.
Okay.
Oh yes, thank you.
I'm going to go for a wee in a second, but we need to rate the film.
I kind of want to keep you as long as possible now, just to make this part of the podcast much more interesting.
Will it be interesting? You just see my face go.
Oh, he's gone. Is that a wee?
That is very interesting. Look at his
rate
face.
the film. Rate the film. That is very interesting. Look at that. I never expected to look at that when he went. So in terms of rating, when I was watching this film, I was kind of a bit like, oh, this film's way better than I remember it being. And I was like, this is like a classic. But at the same time, after thinking about it for a little bit longer, I'm like, right, okay, there are some inconsistencies and maybe some things that I don't quite understand. Maybe that's the point. You know, maybe that's the point. But I'd still give it a B. I think it's a good film. It's enjoyable. And it's got a lot of interesting ideas and visuals.
I thought the exact same thing. I think it's a pretty great film. Like it's really solid. I mean, you can sort of you can pick plot holes out there, but I mean, it's still a great film. I mean, what more can you want from this unique idea executed in a really solid way? So I was going to go with a B+.
Oh, a B+, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a underrated gem.
Yeah, not many people have seen it, I don't think. But you should do. I think it's streaming.
If you haven't seen it, go and bloody see it.
Yeah.
Innit?
All right. Thanks for listening. Become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovac Calvin for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing. And remember to join the Facebook group, Horror Hangout Board Advisors, where we are actually just in about 20 minutes going to go play the Friday the 13th game with a few people from the group.
Exactly, yeah. So everyone's always getting together, doing various things, having chats about horror films and the like.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be.
Thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right dude.
Thanks, Luke. I really hope you enjoy your wee.
I'm gonna get. I don't need it now for some reason. I went to the toilet, but I didn't go to the toilet. If you catch my drift.
Oh, I don't know if I do. But yeah.
All right, cool guys. Touch you in a bit.
All right then.
Bye.
In a bizzle.